Hey there, and welcome to a deep dive into something really, truly fascinating. We're going to be talking about biological transformations controlled by the mind, BTCM for short.
BTCML.
You might be wondering, what even is that?
Yeah.
Well, just imagine, imagine if you could consciously, influence your own body to achieve some pretty wild stuff, like enhanced regeneration, super clear mental focus, and maybe even needing less food and less sleep. I mean, that sounds pretty amazing, right?
It does sound a little bit like science fiction, I'll admit.
Right.
But the source material you gave me, it suggests that BTCM is actually like a natural human potential, like we're all capable of it, and it has like these 5 core components.
Okay.
Each one more fascinating than the last.
Okay, so let's break it down now.
Okay.
Starting with, I guess, the first component, which is cellular transformations.
Right.
So, stem cells can turn into, all these different types of cells.
Yeah.
Well, BTCM takes that idea, and it takes it to, a whole other level.
Yay.
Way beyond.
Way beyond.
So imagine, those stem cells and the cells that are involved in, reproduction, they become like these little repair crews.
Repair crews. I like them.
Donating spare parts like DNA, mitochondria, you name it, to other cells that need a little tune-up.
Right.
It's like your body has its own internal mechanic shop.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Right.
And you know what's really cool is that we're actually seeing hints of this in mainstream science already.
Sure.
About mitochondrial transfer, right?
Yeah.
Where the mitochondria, those are like the powerhouses of our cells.
Powerhouses, yeah.
They can actually move between cells. There was a study with mice. And bone marrow cells, they actually repaired lung tissue by sharing their mitochondria. And so BTCM suggests that this process could be happening on a much, much grander scale throughout the body.
Oh, wow, that's mind-blowing.
Our bodies have this hidden potential for self-repair that we're only just beginning to understand.
I think that's right. Yeah. And that leads us to the second component of BTCM, which is, really dives into the biochemical reactions that drive regeneration.
Okay.
So you see, when your body needs to heal, it relies on these special messengers called growth factors to stimulate cell growth and repair. They're kind of like these little construction foremen.
Okay. Yeah.
Directing the repair process.
Okay.
Now, pharmaceutical companies are trying to create synthetic growth factors. BTCM suggests that our bodies may already have a continuous supply of these.
Really?
Coming from a rather surprising source.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Where are they coming from? Well, prepare to be surprised. Both seminal fluid and menstrual fluid are packed with the same growth factors needed for tissue regeneration, particularly in areas like those intervertebral discs, the ones that cause so much back pain.
Wait, so you're telling me that those fluids that we usually associate with reproduction could actually hold the key to healing and regeneration?
That's the idea. It's pretty radical, right?
Yeah, it is.
And it ties directly into the third component of BTCM, which the source material calls additional cellular nutritional contribution.
Okay.
It suggests that components of seminal and menstrual fluid might offer a unique form of self-nutrition.
Interesting.
Like recirculating vital nutrients within your body.
So instead of relying just on external sources of nutrition like food, our bodies might be able to tap into these internal resources for nourishment and repair.
That's exactly what it's saying.
What?
And what's really fascinating is that this concept, it challenges our conventional understanding of nutrition,
Yeah.
Think about it. If our bodies can recirculate vital nutrients like fructose or zinc and growth hormones, it could completely change how we think about diet and supplementation.
That's a game changer.
It is.
It makes you wonder what other hidden potentials our bodies might be holding on to.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings us to another intriguing aspect of BTCM,
Okay.
which is how it could be influencing our energy expenditure.
Okay.
So, your body needs energy for everything it does, from breathing to thinking to healing.
Right.
And the way your body generates and uses energy it's a complex process, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But how does BTCM fit into this energy equation?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Okay, well, imagine this.
Okay.
Digestion, our usual way of getting energy from food, right, is it's like a hydroelectric power plant. Okay. Steadily churning out energy from these external sources.
Okay, I'm with you.
But reproduction,
Oh.
on the other hand, is like a nuclear power plant.
A nuclear power plant. Oh.
Completely different
Yeah.
and much, much more powerful energy source.
Interesting.
And BTCM, it seems to be tapping into this like nuclear power plant, leading to much more efficient use of energy within your body.
So are you saying that like practicing BTCM could actually make our bodies like more energy efficient, like upgrading from a gas guzzler to like a hybrid car or something?
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And what's even more intriguing is what this increased energy efficiency could mean for you, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine having more energy for healing,
Huh.
for mental focus, for physical activity, basically for everything you do.
That's a pretty enticing prospect.
It is.
It sounds like BTCM is not just about like tweaking our biology at the cellular level, but also about like optimizing our entire energy system.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And as we delve into the next two components of BTCM, we'll see how it also has a really profound impact on your mind.
Okay.
And your ability to like break free from those pesky unconscious habits.
Yeah.
We all have them,
We do.
but that there might be a way to work with them more effectively.
Okay, I'm ready to learn more about that.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, well, my mind is already buzzing from all this talk about like cellular mechanics and energy power plants.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that BTCM goes beyond just like the physical stuff.
Right.
What about the impact on the mind?
Well, that's where the fourth component of BTCM comes into play,
Okay.
which is improved conscious mental activity.
Okay.
Now, you know, this isn't about like some mystical mind control trick or anything like that.
Right.
It's about cultivating specific attitudes. Okay.
That can have a real impact on your focus and your awareness.
So what are these attitudes we're talking about?
Well, the source material outlines five essential attitudes.
Okay.
Respect for the word and truth,
Okay.
courage, joy, continuous action, and detachment.
Okay. And those are like almost like building blocks for a more focused and resilient mind, or
That's exactly right. Think of them as the foundation
yeah.
for a really powerful mental state.
Okay, but how can simply adopting these attitudes lead to like such profound mental changes?
Well, let's take the first attitude, respect for the word and truth, as an example.
Okay.
Imagine like how much mental energy you expend trying to remember white lies or struggling with the guilt of not being completely truthful.
Right. Yeah.
The idea here is that by practicing truthfulness, both in what you say and how you think, you free up that mental energy.
And it allows for greater clarity and focus.
It's almost like decluttering your mind and creating space for more positive and productive thoughts.
Exactly. It is mental decluttering.
Yeah.
And it's not just about individual well-being either.
Right.
You know, imagine a world where everyone practiced this respect for truth.
Right.
Think how that could transform like communication, relationships, even global politics.
Whoa. That's a big thought. But I could see how like cultivating these attitudes could almost like ripple outwards.
Yeah.
Impacting not just our own lives, but the world around us as well.
It's like a positive chain reaction.
Yeah.
Starting with our own minds.
Right, and then extending out. Okay, so that's pretty amazing. And finally we get to the fifth component of BTCM.
Yes.
Which might be the most transformative of all.
Possibly, yeah.
Which is transforming unconscious bad habits. So we all have those, right? We all have those like ingrained patterns of behavior that we repeat without even thinking.
We do. We all.
Like late night snacking.
Yeah, yeah.
The doom scrolling.
Totally.
The negative self-talk.
Yep.
These habits can really hold us back, and breaking them can feel like such an uphill battle, you know?
It really can. It can feel impossible sometimes.
Yeah, I know all about that struggle. But how does BTCM offer a different approach to that?
Well, instead of just trying to like willpower our way through, BTCM suggests a more subtle and effective approach.
Okay.
It's about bringing these unconscious habits into conscious awareness.
Okay.
And then gently shifting them.
Okay.
Almost like redirecting a river's flow.
So instead of like fighting against the current, we learn to work with it in a way.
Yeah, exactly. You become the master of the river instead of the victim of it.
Right.
And a simple but the powerful example of this is breathing.
Okay.
Think about how your breathing changes when you're stressed or anxious.
Right.
It becomes short and shallow, right?
Yeah.
With BTCM, you learn to pay attention to your breath and consciously shift it to a calmer, deeper pattern.
Okay.
And this in turn can actually influence your mental and emotional state.
Right.
Breaking that cycle of stress and anxiety.
That's fascinating. It's like using our bodies to influence our minds rather than the other way around.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness
Yeah.
of our physical and our mental states.
Okay, so this all sounds like incredibly promising, but is there any evidence that BTCM actually works?
Well, the source material you provided, it includes this really compelling case study
Okay.
about a patient
Oh.
who experienced this remarkable healing
Okay.
from chronic back pain.
Okay, so back pain.
Using BTCM, this individual had suffered for years,
Wow.
tried countless conventional treatments.
So like really at their wits' end?
Totally, yeah.
Wow.
And even had the medical records to prove it.
Wow. Like x-rays and MRIs and everything?
X-rays, MRIs, you name it, the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
And after practicing BTCM, their chronic pain, which they had endured for years, suddenly vanished.
Wait, are you serious? The pain just like disappeared?
That's right. And it wasn't just a subjective feeling either.
Yeah.
A follow-up MRI actually showed significant healing
Oh, wow.
in the intervertebral discs,
Right.
providing like tangible evidence
Right.
that the healing wasn't just in their mind.
Wow. That's pretty convincing.
It is.
But I'm sure some people are still thinking this is too good to be true. Like, it's probably just a bunch of hype.
Of course, there will always be skepticism,
Right.
especially with something as groundbreaking as BTCM,
Yeah.
and that's healthy. We should always question
Yeah.
what we hear.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that BTCM isn't some like magical cure-all or anything. It's a practice. It's a journey of self-discovery and transformation.
Yeah.
And like any journey, it's gonna have its ups and downs.
Exactly. Yeah.
The author of the source material is quite transparent
Okay.
about the challenges he faced, particularly during his exploration of what he calls hyper BTCM.
Hyper. Okay.
He describes experiencing intense muscle pain
Okay.
and even prostate issues
Huh?
after a period of exceptionally intense sexual activity.
Okay. So maybe moderation is key here. Like, don't go from 0 to 100 overnight.
That's a wise takeaway. It's about finding a balance and listening to your body's signals.
Right.
The source material emphasizes that BTCM's a gradual process,
Right.
and that pushing things too fast can lead to imbalances.
Right. So it's powerful, but needs to be approached with respect and caution as well.
I think that's a really good way to put it.
Okay. So BTCM is powerful.
Yeah.
We need to approach it with respect and caution.
Yeah.
But what about the practical side of things? Like, how do people actually practice BTCM? Where do they even begin?
Well, the source material outlines different levels of practice.
Okay.
Apprentice, expert, and automate.
Okay.
At the apprentice level,
Yeah.
it's all about becoming aware
Okay.
of your body's natural processes
Okay.
and learning to like consciously influence them.
Right.
You begin to pay attention to sensations, to
Right.
your breath,
Okay.
to the subtle energies flowing within you.
It sounds like a process of like developing a deeper connection with your own body.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's about coming home to yourself in a way.
Okay.
And one of the key techniques at this level
is what the author calls the observer effect.
Okay. What is that exactly?
For men,
Okay.
this involves becoming consciously aware during intimate moments,
Okay.
learning to control certain muscles
Okay.
to prevent seminal fluid loss.
Okay.
For women,
Yeah.
it's about becoming more aware of the menstrual cycle
Okay.
and potentially influencing the flow of menstrual fluid within the body.
So it's about like harnessing the power of those fluids we talked about earlier, those rich sources of growth factors and nutrients.
That's the idea. It's about tuning into your body's natural rhythms,
Right.
and learning to work with them.
Okay.
And as you progress to the expert level, you start to refine these techniques,
Okay.
gaining more control,
Yeah.
and experiencing deeper transformations.
Okay. And eventually you reach the automate level where BTCM becomes almost like second nature.
Right. Like happening effortlessly throughout the day.
That's the ultimate goal.
Okay.
But it's important to remember that BTCM is a lifelong journey of exploration and discovery. There's always more to learn,
right,
more to experience,
yeah,
and more to integrate into your life.
It's like we're uncovering these hidden superpowers within ourselves.
Yeah, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up our deep dive,
yeah,
I think it's important to acknowledge that BTCM might be pushing the boundaries of what many people consider possible.
Right.
But what if we're just scratching the surface of our true potential?
Right.
What if we're capable of far more
Yeah.
than we've ever imagined?
That's a pretty mind-blowing thought. And it leads us to the big question. What does the future hold for BTCM? Will we see it becoming more mainstream, like integrated into our healthcare system, taught in schools? Like, what's your take on all this?
Well, while we can't predict the future with certainty,
right,
what we've explored today suggests that BTCM has the potential to revolutionize our understanding of health, healing, and human potential.
Right.
It could empower us to take control of our well-being in ways we never thought possible.
Right.
But of course, as with any emerging field, there are still many unknowns.
So BTCM is both exciting and a bit of a mystery.
Right.
There's so much potential, but also so much we still need to learn and explore.
I think that's a really good summary.
Yeah. You know, as we've been exploring BTCM, I can't help but feel like this sense of excitement, but also like a little bit of, wait, is this really possible? For someone like me?
Yeah, I get that. It's easy to get caught up in the extraordinary potential of BTCM and wonder, can I actually achieve this? The idea of consciously influencing our biology, it can feel pretty daunting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, am I just destined to be stuck with my current limitations, or can I actually, unlock these incredible transformations? The source material mentions that the author himself went through quite a journey, starting from a place of, chronic pain, and eventually discovering BTCM. Did he have any special abilities or training before all this?
Not at all. He emphasizes that BTCM is a natural human potential, accessible to anyone.
Okay.
He even talks about how he struggled with everyday challenges, negative thoughts and unhealthy habits.
Yeah.
Before discovering BTCM, it was through consistent practice and experimentation that he unlocked its transformative power.
So it's not like you need to be a superhuman yogi meditating in a cave to tap into these abilities.
Yeah, exactly. The source material really emphasizes that BTCM is a practice, a journey of self-discovery that anyone can embark on.
Okay, that's encouraging to hear. But, the author also talks about some pretty intense experiences, especially with, hyper BTCM. I'm thinking about the muscle pain and prostate issues he described.
Yeah.
How can someone ensure they're practicing BTCM safely and effectively?
That's where guidance and a supportive community can really come in.
Okay.
The source material, it's a great starting point.
Right.
But it's not, a comprehensive instruction manual.
Right.
And the author stresses the importance of finding, qualified teachers who can provide personalized support and help you, navigate any challenges that come up along the way.
So it's almost like having a personal trainer for your biology.
Yeah, I like that.
Someone who can tailor the practice to your individual needs and help you avoid any potential pitfalls.
That's a really good way to put it. It's about finding that right guidance.
Okay. And being part of a community of like-minded individuals.
Absolutely.
Can that be helpful as well?
Hugely, yeah. Being part of a community, it provides that sense of shared purpose, encouragement, accountability.
Right.
Makes the journey, even more enriching and sustainable.
Okay, so let's say, we find the right teachers. We build a supportive community.
Yeah.
And we start practicing BTCM safely. What does the future hold for this field? Will we start seeing BTCM clinics popping up everywhere?
Right.
Will doctors prescribe BTCM practices, alongside traditional treatments? I mean, what could this look like?
It's fascinating to imagine the possibilities.
Right.
You know, based on the evidence we've explored,
Yeah.
BTCM could revolutionize our approach to health and well-being.
Right.
Imagine a future
Where BTCM is integrated into, preventive medicine,
right.
empowering people to take a proactive role in their health and their longevity.
Wow, think about the impact on chronic diseases,
Yeah.
mental health,
Yeah.
even our understanding of aging. It's
Absolutely.
a pretty mind-blowing vision of the future.
It certainly is, but it's important to acknowledge
Yeah.
that realizing this vision requires, careful consideration
Okay.
of accessibility, affordability, and the potential for misuse.
Right. So we can't just assume that BTCM will magically solve all of humanity's problems.
Right.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
And like any powerful tool, its impact depends on how we use it.
That's a key point.
Yeah.
BTCM is not about, creating a perfect world
Right.
or escaping the realities
Yeah.
of human existence.
Right.
It's about expanding our understanding
Yeah.
of what's possible
Mm-hmm.
and taking responsibility.
For our own well-being and evolution.
So it's not just about individual transformation.
Right.
It's about a collective shift in consciousness,
Mhm.
like a recognition that we have the power to, influence our biology and perhaps even shape the future of our species.
Beautifully said. As we wrap up our deep dive into BTCM,
Yeah.
I hope you've gained a sense of the vast potential
Oh, yeah.
that lies within each of us, the journey of exploring BTCM.
Yeah.
It's just beginning, and who knows what incredible discoveries await us.
It's definitely been a mind-expanding experience.
Yeah.
And I'm left with a sense of both wonder and possibility.
Yeah.
We've learned about, cellular mechanics,
Yeah.
energy power plants,
Mm.
the influence of the mind, and even, the potential for transforming deeply ingrained habits. It's been quite a ride.
It has indeed. And remember,
Yeah.
the exploration doesn't end here.
Right.
I encourage you to continue your own research, ask questions, challenge assumptions, and most importantly, experiment.
Yeah.
And experience the power of BTCM for yourself.
That's a great note to end on. Deep divers, thank you for joining us on this journey into the fascinating world of biological transformations controlled by the mind. We hope you leave this deep dive feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to, explore the boundless potential that lies within you.
Until next time, keep those minds open, those bodies energized, and those possibilities infinite.